My girlfriend said, "If the ring is not at least $10,000, do not even bother proposing." I replied, "Understood." Then opened a ring box filled with cash and a goodbye note instead of a diamond, watching her smile die in real time minutes later. Someone else walked in. "I am Qley, 30, 1M insurance claims investigator in Denver. My job is literally detecting fraud, figuring out when people are lying about what they really want versus what they say they want. I am good at it. Maybe too good. Been dating Marin, 27F, for 18 months. She works as a social media manager for some lifestyle brand. Instagram is basically her religion. Everything we do together gets photographed, filtered, posted. Our relationship exists as much online as it does in real life. For the past few months, she has been dropping hints about engagement, not subtle hints either. Screenshots of rings texted to me, comments about friends getting engaged, accidentally leaving bridal magazines around my apartment. I was actually planning to propose, had been thinking about it seriously, even started looking at rings. Then last month, we had a conversation that changed everything. We were at dinner with her friends, 3 other women, all engaged or recently married. The whole night was ring comparison, carat sizes, band styles, who got proposed to where, the Instagram engagement photo rankings. At some point, Marin's friend showed off her new ring. Nice diamond. Simple setting. Her fiancé is a teacher, probably spent 3 months' salary on it. Marin's response: "That is sweet. A little small for my taste, but sweet." Her friend's face fell. The table went quiet. Then Marin laughed like it was a joke, and everyone moved on. But I didn't move on. I watched Marin's face. I know that look. I see it at work when people are revealing what they really think. Later that night, in the car, I asked her about it. "What did you mean about the ring being small?" "Nothing. Just girl talk. You know how it is." "I am asking because I have been thinking about our future. If we are heading toward engagement, I want to know what you are expecting." She got quiet. Then she said something I will never forget. "Qley, I love you, but I need to be honest. My engagement ring needs to be special. I have been dreaming about this moment my whole life. The ring is going to be in every photo, every post, for the rest of my life. It represents our relationship to everyone who sees it. It means significant, substantial. If a ring isn't at least $10,000, don't even bother. I will not say yes to something cheap that I would be embarrassed to show people." I just stared at her. "You are saying if I bought you a ring for $9,999, you would say no." "I am saying I know my worth, and I need a partner who is willing to invest in showing the world that he values me. If you cannot do that, we need to have a different conversation." I dropped her off at her place, told her I needed to think. She kissed me goodbye and said she loved me, like she hadn't just given me a price tag for her commitment. That night, I couldn't sleep. Kept thinking about my parents. My dad spent his whole life trying to make my mom happy with money. Bigger house, nicer car, expensive vacations they couldn't afford. He went bankrupt when I was 15 trying to appease her endless demands. She left him anyway, found someone with even more money. I swore I would never be that man. I swore I would find someone who valued substance over status. And here I was, 18 months into a relationship with a woman who just told me her love had a minimum price point. So I made a decision. I was going to test her. Really test her. I called my brother Rick the next day. He is a mechanic, married 12 years to his high school sweetheart. Their wedding rings cost maybe $500 combined. They are the happiest couple I know. She actually said 10,000 minimum? He asked. Those exact words. "Qley, that is not a red flag. That is a whole red parade. What are you going to do?" I am going to give her exactly what she asked for. I spent the next 3 weeks planning. Made reservations at the nicest restaurant in Denver. The same place where her friend got proposed to last year. Marin had talked about how perfect that setting was. Bought an elegant ring box from a jewelry store. Black velvet, silver trim. The kind that makes hearts stop when it appears. Then I went to my bank and withdrew $10,000 in cash. And I wrote a note. Short, clear, typed. So there would be no confusion. You said if the ring isn't over $10,000, don't bother proposing. You are right. This relationship isn't worth that investment. Here is the $10,000 you valued more than love. Consider it severance. Last night was the dinner. I had told Marin it was a special occasion and to dress up. She showed up, looking stunning, practically vibrating with anticipation. Her nails were freshly done, that specific shade of nude pink she always said photographed well. Her hair was perfect, styled exactly like the engagement photos she had been saving on Pinterest. She would clearly prepared for this moment, prepared for photos that would be analyzed by hundreds of followers. We were seated at the best table. I had requested it, specifically. Corner booth, candlelight, city view through floor to ceiling windows. The kind of setting that screams proposal incoming to anyone paying attention. The dinner was nice. Good food, good wine, romantic atmosphere. I watched Marin throughout the meal. She kept glancing at my jacket pocket, where she could see the outline of the ring box. Her smile was anticipatory, calculating, already composing the Instagram caption in her head. After dessert, the waiter brought champagne I hadn't ordered. They would clearly been tipped off about what was supposed to happen. Marin's eyes glistened. I reached into my pocket. Marin, we have been together 18 months now. You told me exactly what you needed from me, exactly what would make you happy, and I have thought about it a lot. Her eyes were shining. She was already composing the caption in her head. I placed the ring box on the table. You said if the ring isn't over $10,000, don't bother. So I didn't. I opened the box. Inside was the cash, $100 bills, neatly stacked, and my note. Her face went through about 7 expressions in 3 seconds. Confusion, recognition, shock, anger, humiliation, more anger. What the hell is this? It is $10,000. The price you put on your commitment. I figured you should have it directly, instead of wrapped around your finger. Are you insane? Is this some kind of sick joke? No joke. You told me exactly what you valued. I listened. This is me respecting your honesty by being honest back. She grabbed the box, looked at the money, read the note. Then she threw it at me. You are a psychopath. You planned this whole thing to humiliate me. I planned this to test whether you meant what you said. You did. And now we both know where we stand. The restaurant was watching now. People at nearby tables, trying not to stare, but absolutely staring. Marin stood up, grabbed her purse, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "You are going to regret this. Everyone is going to know what kind of man you are." Then she left. I paid the bill, collected the cash from the floor where she had thrown it, and drove home. This morning, my phone is exploding. Her friends are calling me a monster. Her Instagram story is a paragraph about cruel men who play games with women's emotions. She is apparently telling everyone I am abusive and manipulative. But here is the thing. I don't feel bad. I feel relieved. Like I just avoided a trap that would have cost me a lot more than $10,000 in the long run. Reddit, AITA, for testing my girlfriend's materialism by giving her exactly what she demanded. Update 1. After Marin left the restaurant, she went full scorched earth on social media. By the time I woke up the next morning, she had posted a 4-paragraph story about our relationship, framing me as an abusive gaslighter who humiliated her publicly for entertainment. Her version: we had a loving relationship, and I ambushed her with a cruel prank designed to embarrass her in front of strangers. She never said anything about ring prices. I invented that to justify my toxic behavior. I am a dangerous man who plays psychological games with women. The post got hundreds of comments. Her friends, her followers, people who would never met either of us, all calling me names, threatening to expose me, saying I deserve to be alone forever. For about 2 hours, I considered just ignoring it. Let her have her narrative. Move on with my life. Then my brother Rick called. "Cole, have you seen what she is posting? This is insane. She is making you look like a serial killer. I saw it. Are you going to respond? I am an investigator." Rick: what do investigators do? They investigate. They document. They build cases. They keep receipts. See, here is what Marin didn't know. I had been keeping track of her materialistic demands for months. Not to use against her, originally just to understand the pattern. But now I had a folder. Screenshots of texts where she complained about friends' cheap engagement rings. Messages where she ranked her social circle by the size of their diamonds. The text conversation from after that dinner where she literally typed out the $10,000 minimum requirement. Audio recording of a phone call. One-party consent state, where she told her sister she was training Qley to understand her non-negotiable standards. I uploaded the most damning screenshots to my own social media with a simple caption. She says I invented the $10,000 demand. Here is her saying it in her own words. I gave her exactly what she asked for. The response was immediate. Her friends started going quiet. Comments on her post shifted from supportive to questioning. People who had been calling me a monster suddenly wanted to know why she didn't mention the ultimatum. Maren tried to claim the screenshots were taken out of context, that she was joking about the money, that I had manipulated her into saying those things. But the evidence was clear. Time-stamped. Consistent. The kind of documentation I do professionally every day. By the third day, the narrative had completely flipped. People were sharing my receipts, calling her materialistic and shallow. Someone made a TikTok about it that got 200,000 views. The story became about her, not about me. I didn't gloat, didn't make additional posts. Just let the evidence speak for itself. Thursday night, Maren called. I answered because I was curious what she would say. She was crying. Qley, please, take down those posts. You are ruining my life. I am getting hateful messages. People are calling me a gold digger. I could lose my job. You made public accusations about me. I responded with evidence. That is how this works. I was angry. I was humiliated. You embarrassed me in front of a whole restaurant. You embarrassed yourself by making our relationship transactional. I just made the transaction visible. I didn't mean it like that. I was just expressing what I wanted. Doesn't everyone have standards? There is a difference between standards and price tags. Maren, you gave me a minimum purchase price for your commitment. That is not a standard. That is a fee. She went quiet. Then, I really did love you. Number, you loved what I could provide. That is different. Goodbye, Maren. I hung up and blocked her number. Her friends have mostly gone silent. A few reached out privately to apologize for their initial attacks. One of them admitted that Maren had been like this for years, and they had hoped a serious relationship would calm her down. My co-workers think the whole thing is hilarious. Friday at lunch, one of the senior investigators raised his coffee to me and said, "Best field work I have seen all year." Brennan, my brother Rick, came over this weekend. We grilled burgers, drank beers, and he told me I had done the right thing. You tested her character before making a major commitment. That is smart. The delivery was maybe a little dramatic, but the principle was sound. Some people think I was cruel. Some people think you should tolerate gold diggers politely. Those people end up like Dad, broke and bitter. You made a decision. You acted on it. You stood your ground when she tried to rewrite history. That is not cruel. That is self-respect. The $10,000 is still in my safe. Haven't decided what to do with it yet. Maybe a down payment on something real. Something that actually appreciates in value. Update 2. Half a year has passed since the proposal. Figured I had closed the loop since people keep asking what happened. Short version, I am doing great. Maren is exactly who she always was. After the social media fallout, Maren went quiet for a few weeks. I assumed she was regrouping, licking wounds, maybe doing some self-reflection. I was wrong about the self-reflection part. About 2 months after our breakup, mutual friends started sending me screenshots. Maren was back on dating apps with a profile that made me laugh out loud. Her bio mentioned knowing her worth. Her photos were all designer bags and expensive restaurants. One of her prompts was literally looking for a man who understands that romance means investment. She had learned nothing. If anything, she had doubled down. Over the following months, I heard stories through the grapevine. She dated a guy for 3 weeks, dumped him when she found out he drove a Honda instead of a BMW. Another guy took her to a nice dinner. She complained afterward that he only ordered 1 bottle of wine. A third guy apparently passed her investment test, but broke it off when she started hinting about jewelry within the first month. The pattern was clear. She was screening men exclusively for spending potential, and men with options were screening her out once they saw the game. Meanwhile, I focused on work, got promoted to senior investigator about 4 months ago. The raise was nice, but the real reward was the professional recognition. Turns out the skills I used to detect fraud in insurance claims work pretty well for detecting fraud in relationships too. Started dating again around month 3. Casual stuff at first, just getting used to being single, figuring out what I actually wanted. Met someone interesting about 2 months ago. Her name's Clara. She is a forensic accountant, basically the financial version of what I do. We met at a cross-department training session, bonded over shared cynicism about people who lie for money. First date, she insisted on splitting the check. I offered to pay, she said. I don't like owing people anything, even dinner. I knew right then this was different. We have been seeing each other regularly since. Nothing Instagram-worthy, quiet dinners, hiking Sunday mornings with coffee and newspapers. She has 0 social media presence. When I asked why, she said, I got tired of performing my life for strangers. Last week, we had the money conversation. Not about engagement, way too early for that, but about financial values, generally. How we each think about spending, saving, what matters. She told me her parents went broke trying to keep up with wealthy neighbors, lost their house when she was 12. She has been cautious about money ever since. I don't care what anyone spends on me, she said. I care that they are honest about who they are and what they can afford. Pretending to be rich is a red flag. Demanding expensive gifts is a bigger one. I told her about Marin, the whole story, the $10,000 test, everything. She was quiet for a minute. Then she said, you know what is funny? If you had proposed to me with a ring from a gumball machine and a genuine intention to build something real, I would probably say yes. The ring isn't the relationship. I didn't propose. Way too early. But I filed that moment away for future reference. As for Marin, last I heard, she is still posting about standards and high-value women. Still filtering men by their wallets. Still wondering why nothing sticks. One mutual friend told me something interesting last month. Apparently Marin has started telling a different version of our breakup story. In the new version, she dodged a bullet by escaping a controlling, financially manipulative man. She still cannot admit what actually happened, still cannot see that she priced herself right out of genuine love. I don't wish her harm. I just don't wish her anything at all. She is not my problem anymore. The $10,000 is now part of a down payment fund growing slowly but steadily, gonna be worth something real someday. Final update. 2 years since I handed Marin $10,000 instead of a ring. Everything has changed. Clara and I got married 6 months ago. Not a big wedding. Courthouse ceremony. Immediate family only. Then dinner at our favorite restaurant. No photographers, staging shots. No Instagram announcements. No diamond demands. Our rings cost about $300 combined. Simple bands, tungsten carbide, practically indestructible. When people ask about them, Clara says, they are designed to last forever without any maintenance. Kind of like our relationship philosophy. The engagement fund, the original $10,000, plus what I had been adding to it, became part of the down payment on our house. 3-bedroom craftsman in a good neighborhood, needs work. But we are doing most of it ourselves on weekends. Something deeply satisfying about building a home together with actual labor, instead of just buying one pre-packaged. Clara got promoted to senior forensic accountant last year. I made principal investigator around the same time. Combined income is comfortable but not flashy. We drive practical cars, cook most meals at home, and take camping trips instead of luxury resorts. Neither of us has any debt except the mortgage. Neither of us cares about impressing strangers. It is the most peaceful relationship I have ever had. Now for the other ending. Marin's story did not go as well. I don't follow her or seek out information. But Denver's not that big and mutual acquaintances talk. Here is what I have pieced together. The high standards dating strategy never paid off. She went through about a dozen guys over 2 years, each one failing to meet whatever arbitrary test she had designed. Some lasted a few dates, a couple lasted a few months. None made it to engagement. Her social media following stagnated and then declined. Turns out constantly posting about knowing your worth and demanding the best gets old when you are visibly single and approaching 30. Her job at the lifestyle brand ended about 8 months ago. Not sure if she was fired or quit, but she is working retail now. Saw her at the mall a few months back. She was folding clothes at a department store. She didn't see me, and I didn't approach. The most revealing thing came from her former roommate, who started dating one of my coworkers last year. She told him that Marin has been depressed and confused about why her life isn't working out, that she keeps attracting shallow men who only want one thing and cannot find anyone who sees her true value. The irony is staggering. She spent years filtering men by financial value and cannot understand why she only attracts men who think the same transactional way. Some people will say I should feel bad for her, that her upbringing or society or Instagram made her this way, that she deserves compassion. Maybe, but I saved my compassion for myself. For the future I could have lost if I had married someone who measured love in dollars. My dad came to our wedding, hadn't seen him in 3 years. He had been rebuilding his life after my mom drained him dry. He pulled me aside after the ceremony. Son, I made a lot of mistakes. Spent decades trying to buy love that was never for sale. Went broke trying to satisfy someone who couldn't be satisfied. I am proud of you for recognizing the pattern and breaking it. That meant more than any expensive ring ever could.